We are tracking Ophelia and its impacts. Water is already filling streets in the flood-prone areas of Norfolk as the city installs stormwater ponds and pump stations to try to mitigate the problem. They're also trying to protect the city from catastrophic storm surge with a multi-billion-dollar flood wall. Sarah Hammond is at The Hague as the streets start to flood there.
The water is already starting to build here as Tropical Storm Ophelia is just getting started for the night, and people who live here in Norfolk know the frustration of this flooding all too well. Kim Sutterth lives in the flood-prone Berkeley neighborhood in Norfolk.
Typically move my car because there's a little river that goes right down my street.
While she says the familiar flooding of her street is a hazard, she also worries about what will happen to the city if a hurricane hits.
And we've always been afraid of the big one.
That's something the city is working to prevent with a $2.6 billion flood wall in partnership with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. It will include tide gates, levees, pump stations, and nature-based features. Jay Ford with the Chesapeake Bay Foundation says the flood wall doesn't go far enough to also stop day-to-day flooding.
That we should not be putting projects in place that we're going to end up paying for adverse consequences elsewhere.
He says a solely based nature option could have helped deal with both. But Sutterth calls the flood wall a good step forward, especially for her neighbors in Berkeley.
It's one step in saving this community that we all love. The South Side is worth protecting.
Construction on the barriers will likely start by mid to late 2024. In Norfolk, Sarah Hammond, 13 News Now.